Namaskar, I am Maina Bhatnagar. A political chart is very different from a regular chart. The reason is that it's easy to be head of a family, but it is very difficult to head a country or a state. You need so much more than just being you. So when one looks at a chart for political success, one has to find out whether a majority of planets support this event or not. To begin with, the sun. The sun must support because it's the biggest indicator of the royalty. In today's time, the presidents and prime ministers are no less than kings, or they are the kings actually. Planet moon, because moon is mind. A leader would have completely undeterred mind. Mars, the strength. Who would like to vote for someone who looks weak? Jupiter. Jupiter in the royal scheme is the advisor to the sun. A good leader should have good advisors and he should be able to advise others. So one does need that luck, because we make so many mistakes in life if we are not well advised or briefed about what is going to happen. So a good advisor is like must. In fact, in success like this, both luminaries are very important. Mercury, of course, the gift of gab. All the great leaders have been wonderful orators. And Saturn. Saturn is the biggest and the most powerful supporter of masses. No leader can become a successful leader till Saturn does not support his chart. In fact, even in an individual chart, if you have well-placed Saturn, you will have help in your house. You will have people who will come to you in need when you need them. That is Saturn. People who run factories and industries, they have strong Saturn to support them. And last, but the most important planet, Rahu. Rahu is the mastermind, the clever scheming planet who knows what to say, what to hide actually. What to say is Mercury, but what to hide? The sly. Because when you are dealing with enemy, you have to think like the enemy. You can't be all good and honest. You have to know his intentions and manipulate. That is Rahu. So again, I have taken a political question, and the question is again about election. I've asked the divine a question, that will Benjamin Netanyahu continue in power in coming times? He has been in power for a long time and not an easy leader to be thrown out. So at the moment the power is shift in between hands. So I took this question as out of curiosity. So now when you see this question, the chart details you can see on the chart that's on the screen. The Saturn relates to the 10th house, and Saturn is in the 8th house. The 8th house is a house of absolute difficulties. He relates to the moon that is in the 9th house. One would look at it as the house of Bhagya, which it is, but moon's ownership of the 3rd house makes it difficult. Saturn relates to Mercury that goes in the 12th house. The 12th house spells ultimately defeat, which shows that he will be thrown out of power. To study further, I always like to read the opponent, because it not only gives me a finality to my reading, it also tells me what kind of opponent I'm going to deal with, or the querent is going to deal with. So for the opponent, one sees the Sun and Rahu. So one thing is that there are two people. So the party is going to be more than one, which is very obvious. But there is some more reading that comes out with the combination of Sun and Rahu. Rahu goes, whenever he goes close to Sun, like other planets, neither he is burned nor he is combust. He's so powerful, he likes to take over the power. So the opponent is so powerful and together that they will take over the power. That's one. The second is that the Sun and Rahu are in constant tug of war. The Sun likes to escape and Rahu likes to eclipse, which means that there will be a fight for the power, will continue. This gives rise to another question: how long will this go on? And that can be seen well by the interpretation of the Dasha and the Mahadasha. Let's not forget that Rahu is a rule breaker. Rahu is very, very unconventional. I feel that the new government will have some different opinions, different ideologies, and bit of unconventionality in them, because Rahu is very unconventional. He's a path breaker. The astrology always have mythology to fall back upon, and one can recollect the story of Rahu when the Sur were told to sit in one line and Rahu was told, the Asur were told to sit in the other line. It was Rahu who was very smart and goes and sits with these Sur. So he is very good in assessing the situation. Devtas are enemies, so he's good in assessing the enemy. He's good in foreseeing what is going to happen, and he's a path breaker. So that is the point, that there will be different ideologies, there will be different policies, and there will definitely be a modernity to the whole thing. And that's what is the new times probably. They're going to adapt to the new circumstances and see how it goes. So that's the perspective on the combination of Sun and Rahu. The Dasha and Antardasha support that this government will possibly continue till the new government will possibly continue till the mid of next year. And thereafter, my reading is, because the planets are retrograde as well, there will be fresh elections. So this is my take on the new current situation. Thank you very much for your time, for watching, and thank you very much for subscribing. Please, those who have not subscribed, please like and subscribe my channel. Thanks again.